on AM 560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Check it out right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now,
The only man to give death a near Johnny experience. Johnny Harden.
Yo, 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 happy Friday on Sports 56 Happy Hour. Y'all know who I am, Johnny Radio. I got my friend Gabe Kuhn hanging out with me. You follow us on Twitter at Johnny_radio, at Gabe_Kuhn71. Bing, bang, boom. You'll know exactly what we're doing today. We'll tweet out the show. Plus, you know, it's Sports 56 WHBQ. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, and YouTube, all that good stuff. I got Russell Copeland, who's going to join us to talk about the new moves. We got more moves. I do want to hit a little bit of basketball, so I got Anthony Sane coming on at 1:30. And I have talked to a few people, and yes, we've pushed our fantasy baseball draft back. But it still is hope with the NBA season basically canceled. Everybody else, you know, I mean, you know, the new world that we live in. And, you know, NFL is huge news because we feel like at least maybe we might get that. We're praying for baseball, but there are still people who are very, very hopeful that this summer is going to happen and they're going to have some type of baseball. Maybe it's going to be a little bit of a shortened season, but we're going to talk with Keith Farnsworth about fantasy baseball. I don't know if you realize, like, people like Chris Sale are undergoing Tommy John surgery. You've had a lot of people move. Also, got to say, you never think that anybody would be lucky. Like, I hate saying things like this because it gets misconstrued and people take it the wrong way, because this is an absolute devastating situation that we really are finding ourselves in. There was a great article, I thought, today in the New York Times, and doctor, I retweeted it out earlier, and she basically said, you know, we're living in a global public health crisis, moving at a speed and scale never witnessed by living generations. The cracks in our medical and financial systems are being splayed open like a gashed wound. No matter how this plays out, life will forever look a little bit different for all of us. So what I'm just trying to say is, I don't want to, like, you know, we're going through different, like, definitely a crisis when it, you know, on a large scale, but as we wish for the best, we're going to wish for a baseball season, we're going to wish for a football season, and we are going to still rap about what's going to possibly go down, and that's why Keith's coming on, because I got a lot of folks hitting me up about fantasy baseball questions.
We're going to wish for these sports to go on, but at the same time, we have to realize that this is not about sports at all.
I was going to say,
this continues to be about life and health.
How come I don't have 500 sorries?
I don't know.
I literally
you still have people.
500.
I mean, yesterday you still had people hitting the text line with their beliefs about how it's overblown. It's not a real outbreak, but I can just hope those people go find the facts and figure it out for themselves, and I hope they stay in their house and make sure they don't spread it if they were to get it. So a lot of people need to rethink how they feel about this thing. But, of course, this is we have a loaded Friday edition here of Sports 56 Happy Hour. Follow me, G_Kuhn, KUHN71. I will tweet out the show on our various platforms. We have a stream, YouTube, Twitter, everything like that. So make sure you check it out. We're going to open up here with Russell Copeland, as we always do on Friday, talking some NFL free agency, some other things going on in the world. 1:30, we're bringing on Anthony Sane of Sports Illustrated. Runs Grizzlies Maven. We're going to talk NBA Grizzlies with him. 2 o'clock, having Keith Farnsworth, fantasy_Keith on Twitter. And we're going to talk some MLB, some fantasy as far as that goes. And then at 2:30, of course, even with the tough times, we're bringing you Hardenwood.
because it just feels so good. But right now it's time to talk with our very good friend Russell Copeland. Back in the days, you know him as a Tiger. You know him as a Buffalo Bill. You know him from every Friday. And you know he's been all over the airwaves all week long. Everybody's been talking to him because basically NFL has been the magic. Cope, how's life?
Man, it's great, man, despite, everything
we're going through,
live. Yeah, it's great. Just first and foremost, I just would like to say, you guys alluded on it, and that we're going through something that we've never experienced before. Just from a health standpoint, just from a crisis standpoint, everything that we're accustomed to being able to do, we have to be able to make a decision and say we no longer can do that. And things that we are able to do, we just have to be able to take precautions because it is real. It is a real threat, and it is affecting everyone from all areas, from all walks of life, from actors to players to executives, to just normal everyday people. So I think it's serious, and I just hope that everyone can at least take heed to it and try to protect themselves and their families so we can, hopefully get past this, very quickly.
Man, I couldn't have said it any better. Good job. That's my man, Russell Copeland, dropping out a little reality. But I got to ask you something today. I got slapped in the face with a whole lot of reality. And I know that defensive backs are probably people you really don't like to talk about, being a wide receiver. But my man, Darius Slay, came out and yesterday kind of slapped Matt Patricia pretty hard, saying he's lost all respect. But then he went on national television today and literally laid out why he had lost respect and told the story about him showing him getting beat or whatever. And then everybody heard him drop the bomb about Matt Patricia told him, like, in front of everybody that, I can't even say it. Come close. Basically, has to do with male genitals and Mr. Slay. And I don't think the coach ever needs to go there. How big of a problem, honestly, does the Ford family have right now in Detroit with Matt Patricia? This is a guy who was supposed to be a defensive guru, and in 2 years he's won nine games. The Coach Caldwell he replaced went 9-7 the year before Matt Patricia got there. He can't get anything out of Matthew Stafford. The defense has gotten actually worse each year, and now they're losing their best cornerback, Darius Slay, with the most pass breakups since 2013. I'm just shocked at also the way this comes out. And I think it also hurts because remember when he was first hired, he had that kind of rape allegation hanging over him. And I hate to say this, but Matt Patricia is also going to help anybody in the world who ever thought you could just grow a beard, wear a T-shirt to work, and look kind of like a slob. Well, maybe you shouldn't be in a position of power because now it's like affecting the whole organization. I'm curious, what do you think as a player after hearing what Darius Slay said? As a former player.
Of course, you never want to hear anything such as this, coming from a coach. And when Darius Slay says this, I mean, it's very, unheartening. It's disheartening to say the like. But, a lot of times for me, I would like for players, whether they become free agents or not, to just keep things in-house.
In-house?
For me, when we played, you didn't hear a lot about things that went on inside the house. You would simply, separate and you would move on to another team. And
you know what? That's a good point. Do you think Twitter and social media has a lot to do with this?
I definitely do it, and it's a different time. It's a different time for sports. Contracts are huge, and players feel like they have the right to be able to speak, upon certain things. But I still feel like there's an integrity issue, and the same thing to me when I look at Bill O'Brien, the situation that's going on with Hopkins. I heard some things that Michael Irvin was stated, and the conversation that was going on with Hopkins and going on with Bill O'Brien, and kind of having a conversation and kind of bringing up, Aaron Hernandez in some type of way, and Hopkins felt, appalled by that.
Baby mamas and all that stuff, dude. Mike Irvin, by the way, like when what Mike said was so. If that is true, Hopkins is lucky. I mean, I honestly think Bill O'Brien's lucky Hopkins didn't get up and slap him upside his damn head if what Mike said was true. But this is where I want to ask you. Hopkins almost felt like he handled it in an old school fashion because he came out with a tweet and it didn't say I love Bill O'Brien or anything, but it said I love my time in the Texans and I'll always be thankful and grateful to that organization. I mean, it was very, but it was like, and then at the very end, but I'm moving on and now I'm a Cardinal. You know what I mean? It was like.
Exactly. And I appreciate him, for saying that. I just think that we should stick to the nature of the business. It's a divorce. It doesn't work. It's business, and it's time to be able to move on. If there's a later time after your career or something comes up where you have to speak on it, then fine. But let's just stick to the X's and O's, and let's just look at the trade that's going on. And you look at Darius Slay. Hey, your time is up there. You're one of the best cornerbacks. You're going to the Philadelphia Eagles. Hopefully, you can be able to make them a better team, and hopefully, you can get back to what you like to do, and that's shut down corners, talk a lot of smack, and help your team win football games. And the same thing with Hopkins. I look at the Texans and say, hey, you lost to Davian Clowney. Okay.
Well,
go ahead. For contract situations, and now you're losing another great player. And to me, this offensive great player, when you look at Hopkins, to me, it's the top 2, top 3 wide receiver the last 5 years.
And going to be 27 too this year.
Right. And where does that do for you from an offensive standpoint? With your franchise quarterback, he's losing a big, percentage of his throws and a safety blanket. So now I will look at Bill O'Brien, not as necessarily coach, but I will look at him as a general manager for decisions that he's making, not necessarily some things that have been behind closed doors, but some of his decision making with free agency. I will question that, because right now the Texans definitely lost that deal with the Arizona Cardinals, and they're making the Arizona Cardinals look very good, a team that definitely will be able to compete in the West.
Now, this is kind of weird because I'm going to ask you this, and I'm actually going to talk defense, but it's about offense. But when you have Slay leave Detroit, and he goes over, and now he's going to be part of basically the NFC, I call it the least, because outside of the Cowboys, I feel like the Giants are very talent-ridden, other than they have the greatest back in the world in Saquon Barkley. I just don't believe in their quarterback. I don't believe in that defense. The Eagles, I don't know. I really don't. They might be the best team in the East, or they could be the worst. It's just kind of one of those things. What is Carson Wentz going to give you next year? And then the Redskins, I think they did good in getting Ron Rivera, but he's going to have to completely rebuild that team. So I'm looking all basically at Dallas Cowboys, but I do look at, like I said, the question mark is the Eagles. And if you get Darius Slay, that means you got him to basically go up against Amari Cooper. I think that's a dead-gum good matchup, actually, for the Eagles, and it makes a ton of sense. And, then, of course, then they lose their stud, and he goes to New Orleans. And New Orleans Saints last year, back on the back end, that's where they were getting beat a lot. And now they upgrade, and they go out and get Malcolm Jenkins. And, yes, the Eagles did lose him, but they added a great corner who I think can actually do a better job on Amari Cooper than Malcolm Jenkins could actually do it from his situation. But I also think with the Eagles, with Malcolm Jenkins going to the Saints, they had a problem with their safeties, not their corners last year. And I think Jenkins is going to be able to fulfill that. So I think it's actually an upgrade for both teams. What do you think?
That's what I love about free agency is that, players leave and they go to teams. And the whole point about it is being able to upgrade your football team. And when you look at the Dallas Cowboys of the NFC East, from a statistical standpoint and from a player standpoint, I think they're the most talented team. But you still have to go back to this year. They had a lot of talent, but they did not win the division, and they went 8-8, and they lost to a Philadelphia Eagles football team that were totally decimated in the secondary. So now they're making some changes in the secondary. Can Carson Wentz be healthy, and will they be able to pick up some receivers and pick up a couple more players in this free agency move, especially when everything with the coronavirus is different, because you cannot sit down with free agents and be able to talk to the free agents. I think that's a big deal. But I think the Dallas Cowboys, for me, from this standpoint here, they look the best.
Yeah, they
look
do.
Complete. They just signed Amari Cooper. They have continuity from the offensive line. They've got wide receivers back. They've got Dak penciled in pretty much. At least for 1 year.
And they brought Clinton Dixon. Did you see that? So they also brought in, I think, another great safety themselves. So, this is a dude who, real deal Holyfield. I like and they got him, I think, at a bargain deal. This is a dude who's been a baller. So I like this move.
Definitely so. So there's just a lot of moves that's been taking place. I think, to me, with this free agency that's going on now, has been the quarterback situation. And when I say that, is that it's been musical chairs. And we know what Tom Brady was able to do with Tampa. Bridgewater signs with the Panthers, and Phil Rivers signs with the Colts. And for me, what I'm looking at is that there's not a whole lot of teams or market for Cam Newton, Andy Dalton, or Jameis Winston, and even Joe Flacco. And I think for the first time in a long time. When you look at these names as far as from a free agent standpoint, 2 or 3 years ago, you would not have thought it's unimaginable that Cam Newton, who's a former MVP, may end up being a backup. You look at Andy Dalton. He's went to 2 or 3 Pro Bowls. He's had a pretty good career. He may end up being a backup. Jameis Winston, the overall #1 pick 4 or 5 years ago, he may end up being a backup, and Joe Flacco is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. So it's going to be interesting to see if any one of those guys are able to land in New England, or maybe one of the other guys can land in Cincinnati. To me, the quarterback situation, for the first time in a long time, you've got some depth at quarterback. So any one of these guys right here, to me, can be a 1A backup to another football franchise.
Plus, you have the Joe Burrow, you have Tua Tagovailoa, you have Mr. Justin Herbert. But this is what I wanted to ask you. This is where a lot of people, I think I talked about this earlier this week, I believe on the show, where I think that some teams are going to actually go up. I think Justin Herbert is going to be taken before Tua Tagovailoa. I don't think I explained myself very well last time the reason I said this, he had one of the last pro days before they canceled all this stuff. His pro day was ridiculous. He was 6'6", 240. Ball didn't hit the ground. He threw it flat-footed 63 yards. He's throwing 70-yard bombs when he's actually like dropping back and throwing it. Got at the arm strength, looked great, athletic. And then there's the question of how healthy is Tua going to be? Well, guess what? Tua didn't get to show himself at the NFL Combine. Tua hasn't shown himself all year. And now with coronavirus, he probably won't get to show himself for any teams up into the draft because they're not allowed to have contact with these guys. Do you believe the coronavirus could cause Tua to actually now fall behind Justin Herbert?
It's very plausible. And when we're talking about these top 3 quarterbacks, I think that's going to be the biggest question as far as with Tua. But for me, even before the coronavirus, has taken the step that it's taking, that's a huge question mark for me as far as his health. You look at the hip injury, and you look at his last 3 injuries have been lower body injuries. And to me, if you're going to pick someone in the top 10, and he's been able, he's been hurt over the last season, the last couple of seasons, you're talking about total reconstruction pretty much as far as on his hip. He has to be able to get away from defensive linemen and linebackers in the National Football League that are beasts. They attack the football, they run. And you're talking about 16 games, and it's about to be 17 games once the NFL and the owners decide what year that they're going to implement the 17 games. That's just a huge risk for me. And if you look at Justin Herbert, to me, he has a huge upside. If you look at the Senior Bowl, he was the MVP of the Senior Bowl. You look at his pro workout, he did outstanding. But another name that's coming to mind for me is Jacob Eason. Where would he be? I think he's a question mark. I think a lot of people look at him as his upside being better than Justin Herbert and also Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, he's got that huge arm, man. He's an athletic, smart kid.
Yes, so he is a guy that when the draft comes, next month, let's look for that name there. He may end up sliding and being maybe the number 2 quarterback that's taken overall. But I do like Justin Herbert. I think that he would be a great fit for the San Diego Chargers.
That's where I said I think he needs to go, man, because I think they just he's a West Coast kid. It's a West Coast team, out in LA. You got the weapons. By the way, I don't know what they're going to do with Todd Gurley, but who cares about that? I want to ask you which is kind of fascinating, Dave. Me and you've talked a whole lot of defense, and I usually talk a lot of offense with you, but you kind of mentioned Jadeveon Clowney. I am curious, is there any chance that the New York Jets look at the deadgum Patriots and say, Tom Brady's finally gone? Do we go out there and get a defensive end that could make our good deadgum defense into a dank, awesome, class of the AFC East defense and go out and grab a Jadeveon Clowney? And since people haven't picked him up, I don't think you're going to have to give him that $20 million a year, 17.5 maybe. And right now, if you look at them, they can actually afford that. What do you think about him going to the Jets, or do you think he actually re-signs with the team-friendly deal in Seattle?
Man, that's a huge question. And for me, when I look at Jadeveon Clowney, he has a huge talent. Are you going to go with a team, to me, that doesn't have a chance really to win a lot of games? I still do not think the Jets are right there. Would you take your chances to a team and stay with Seattle? Because regardless, Seattle always has a chance to win a Super Bowl. They're always right there in the playoffs. Or will you go to a team that may be one player away? Will you go to a team maybe like the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that runs great defense? Will you go to a team such as that? Will you go to a team like the Rams, who have lost, a defensive game? Will you go to a team that's already got a defense and they need to be, maybe one big player away? So will you chase the money, or will you get good money and stay with a team that has a chance to win a Super Bowl? For me, if I was him, I would stay with the Seattle Seahawks, or be able to go to a team, to me, that has all the pieces and they're just looking for one guy and I can be that guy. That's what I would do for him. But I don't think that he would go to the Jets.
I'm with you. I like what you're saying. I like what you're saying. And I'm with you. But I was just kind of wondering if they would maybe end up paying a whole lot more for the Jets, just for the simple reason they're like, hey, Tom's not here this year. Let's go for it.
I mean, right now, man, that division is just jumping, man. They're having Mardi Gras
so bad,
with all those cities that Tom is gone. But you mentioned Todd Gurley.
That's where I was ready. Atlanta, man, going back to his hometown. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's going back to Atlanta, and I think that'll be a good fit for him. I still think at the end of the day, they're going to have to get better on defense. But to have all that talent in Atlanta over the past couple of years since the Super Bowl, they simply need to get an offensive coordinator, or Matt Ryan has got to be able to get it done within the red area. To me, with all that talent, they're not scoring enough points. But to speak of just Todd Gurley and just speaking of the running backs, this is a position that's devalued. If you look at him, this year, he'll still make a lot of money because he was just paid $7.5 million. But when you look at the top running backs in the National Football League last year as far as pay, you look at Ezekiel Elliott, he made $15 million, he got $1,300, but that team did not go to the playoffs. You look at Todd Gurley, coming off a huge contract, the second highest paid running back, $14.5 million. He had 857 yards. Le'Veon Bell, $13 million, 789 yards. David Johnson now gets traded from Arizona, made $13 million. Now he's to the Texans. He hasn't been healthy in 2 years. So the running back position, to me, is a devalued position, and this right here definitely is going to hurt the future market for running back.
Unequivocally, I have to agree with you, and I would like to also remind you something. Todd Gurley, think about this. They had, remember, a fifth-year option. He actually would right now be getting that getting that fifth-year option.
Mm-hmm.
But after 3 years, they decided, no, we're not going to do that. They voided his contract. We're going to give him $57.5 million 4-year deal, $45 million guaranteed. And then the next 2 years, he didn't do anything because he was injured, and they had to eat that $45 million. And think about this. They ended up eating, what was it, $20.15 million in dead cap, just to save $17.5 million against the salary cap. And that just is what blows my mind, that they were willing to do that because they couldn't have 26.9% tied up into Jared Goff and Todd Gurley. And if they both came back, you'd have 26.9% of your entire salary in those two players. And they just realized it was buyer's remorse, I think.
I kind of stand on the fence, guys, is that I think the running back position should get paid.
I do too, but I think they should get paid earlier, man.
Right, and that's what I'm going to say about the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement. When I'm looking at everything with the collective bargaining agreement, I think for players such as myself that's retired, there's a lot of great things in there, and they decided to go on with the collective bargaining agreement to go ahead and renegotiate for another 10 years. But for me, it wasn't anything in there for running backs. And this is what I say. When a running back comes out of college and he signs his first-year deal, 4-year, 5-year deal, after those 5 years, he's going to be looked at as used goods. He's not going to be able to get a contract like every other position is able to get, especially at the quarterback position. I think there are a lot of average quarterbacks that are getting paid mega bucks. And
dude,
I say
Kirk Cousins, man.
Average quarterbacks that play 6 or 7 games, 5 games. You look at Ryan Tannehill. Okay, You look at Brock Osweiler. Okay, you look at Kirk Cousins. You look at a lot of guys that play just a little bit, play good enough to start on the team, but they're not putting up great numbers, but they're getting huge contracts to run it.
Hell, Jacoby Brissett's going to make, still $20 million almost this year, and he's going to be a backup. I mean, it was something ridiculous.
Exactly. You look at Teddy Bridgewater. And I'm all about the players getting paid, but we're just trying to look at positions here as far as the money that's deserved. When a running back comes out of college, he has to be able to do like Ezekiel Elliott. But how many running backs are actually going to have the type of numbers that Ezekiel Elliott is going to have and Todd Gurley is going to have? There's not going to be a whole lot of running backs. So this is going to be a position that you can get in the 4th round, you can get in the 5th round. And since we're talking about the Rams, let's look at Darrell Henderson. To me, Darrell Henderson was not a 3rd-round pick. He was not a 3rd-round pick. Now he gets a chance to be able to start and play. But if he starts for the next 2, 3, 4 years, then they'll be looking for another running back. Okay, but he wasn't a 3rd-round pick to me. I think he had 1st-round talent all the way. But my point is that the running back will always be the value, and you can get a running back late in the rounds, and he can still be able to fit into a team and help that organization win.
And I just looked it up on, of course, if you know what SpotRack.com is, it's one of the best about checking on contract situations. $21.375 million. Not bad for Jacoby. He's going to be backing up Phillip Rivers at $25 million. Boy, they got a lot of money tied up in quarterback, don't they?
Man, they have a lot of money. And then we talk about Jacoby Brissett, and we're talking about what the Patriots are going to be able to do. That could be a trade. That could be a move. That could be something that we can keep an eye on because he did do very well as a backup under Tom Brady. Just look out for that. So, the quarterback position, it runs the league. It's a quarterback-driven league, and the quarterbacks will always get top money. And unfortunately, the running back position, they're going to be going down and down and down. It's going to be hard for running backs to get huge contracts, especially once they get to huge contracts, they're not able to fulfill that contract. And look at Le'Veon Bell. Look for him. If he doesn't produce this year, he'll be released after the season.
Cope, do me a favor. Stay healthy, stay wealthy, and stay really, really well. And make sure you answer the phone because I'm sure we'll be rapping next week. And be safe out there, seriously, though.
Same thing to you guys.
Hey, that's my friend Russell Copeland. You remember him as a Tiger and a Bill. I know you do that, and you always remember him. He's always rapping on Sports 56, 96.1, and, of course, 87.7 FM.
The word is out about R&R on Sports, where you've heard interviews from
Ken Griffey Jr., Dr. J, Hank Aaron, and many, many more.
Right here, R&R on Sports, Saturday mornings, 9 a.m., Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Don't miss it.
There's a new commissary in town. In Collierville, Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. For more than 26 years, they've supplied all the diesel parts that you need, from simple repairs to complete overhauls. They have it all. Whether it's heavy, medium, light duty, agricultural, marine, or off-road, Mid-South Power is the leading source for all things diesel. Fuel injection, turbochargers, engine parts, alternators, starters, and brakes. They can supply all the parts and services you need. Stop in today at 3250 Mill Branch Road in Memphis or call 901-396-0710.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. Can anyone explain to me why anyone would care how I measure your roof? We have all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, there are aerial pictures that are taken every 4 years that can be used to measure a building, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof or even if you need one by using pictures that might be 4 years old. If you would rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, please give me a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best customer service we know how to provide. 5 Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Well, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why.
If we don't find the next whiskey bar, I can promise you one thing. I did go last night and buy an arsenal of whiskey. I got Jameson's, more Jameson's, and then another bottle of Jameson's. Dude was like, damn. I said, man, I don't know how long I'm going to be on lockdown, homie. I got to have my whiskey. You know what's good for you? Like, it kills germs. Like, I clean with it after I drink it and then clean the house. Welcome to Sports 56 Happy Hour. Welcome to the new world that we are in. Thank you for joining me today on Sports 56 with Gabe Kuhn. I got Anthony Sane who's going to join me. Y'all know Anthony Sane from so many places. And even though the NBA has basically come out and said, no mas, no mas, no more, no more. But there's still stuff to talk about. And by the way, on Twitter, at Sane Asylum is where you find Anthony Sane. You know he writes about the Grizzlies. He's a beat writer for the Sports Illustrated. He does all kinds of stuff. He co-hosts the Outsiders podcast. And he joins me now. Mr. Sane, what's up, brother?
My God, what's going on?
Dude, it's been too long, man. How's life treating you,
Way
man?
Way too long, bro. Man, life treat me however it treated me.
Oh, man, we're all out here just trying to make it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just kind of curious. You know, I really want to know your opinion first and foremost after you heard the hiatus talk from Adam Silver, okay? He's like, oh, we're going to do a little hiatus. And then he came out and basically I thought it was very, I thought it took some guts, you know what I mean, to go out there and literally just say, because most commissioners would not go out there and say, I don't know. They're going to come out with a timeline. They're going to come out with everything prepared. He went out there and said, right now, this is changing daily. I can't tell you anything, I promise. And then, of course, he comes out here with the news today, and then we find out that some of the Lakers players, we found out more players are being tested. The more players are being tested, the more people are finding out. NBA postseason, you unequivocally think it is what?
I think that, of course, everything is uncertain. We don't know. Things are evolving daily. But here's my thing. I'm, in general, hoping that and predicting that this whole COVID-19 situation will pass away fairly soon, hopefully in the next month or so, maybe 6 weeks or whatever we're looking at. And with that being said, I'm hoping that the NBA can get back going. I'm not trying to act like the NBA is more important than, basic everyday life or the things that people have to go to and, re-stimulating the economy and people going back to work and those type of things. I'm not trying to say that at all, but I'm just assuming that everything goes well. I'm assuming that things like the NBA will get back going again. Now, how they particularly handle it.
Like, you don't think there'll be fans in the stands if they do?
No,
if they do resume, there won't be. I don't either.
I still think we're a ways away from that. Maybe football season.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see fans again for the rest of the season. But as far as finishing the season on the court, I still think that's going to happen.
Man, I actually hope you're right. Now, I got a question for you because I have never been text so much. We don't know what Lakers, unless you know. I haven't been able to find out what Lakers have it. We just know that 2 Lakers have it. Have you been able to figure out who it was, or have you found out, or are they going to let people know?
I don't really want to get into that. I think it's a HIPAA thing.
That's what I was wondering. Is it because you have to come out, like Donovan Mitchell and all of them, they came out and told people, on their own. That's what I was thinking. Because I saw their messages.
Yeah, I think that they came out at first kind of blasting them out, but I think now, I mean, that kind of thing is private. You don't particularly want those things. Might be guys that don't particularly want those type of things out, and it really shouldn't matter because it's going to hit everyday people as well.
Much worse too,
Right. So, but the thing is that I found a lot of peace and a lot of confidence and positivity is that I talked about this on other shows I've been on as well. Is that if you look at the amount of guys in the NBA and the type of contact that they have with each other and the way that they travel, for it still to be those small amounts of numbers per team is still optimistic to me, because you could be seeing numbers where the whole team has it, or the whole league has it. With the way these guys cross each other, the way that they interact with each other, you would think that I thought the numbers would be even more severe. And I think it's kind of promising to see that it's maybe 2, maybe 3 guys, 1 or even none in some cases on the team, with guys who have been in an area where they could be infected.
Man, this is just one of those things. I've never felt. I don't think there's ever been anything in our lifetimes, and I read this earlier, and I think it actually is. It's so appropriate because I truly actually do believe it. Some people out there might not believe it, but I really do believe we're living in a global health crisis that's moving at a speed and scale never witnessed by any living generation. The cracks in our medical system are glaring. The cracks in our financial system are beginning to absolutely splay open like a gashed wound. And I don't know how this is going to play out, but life I don't think is ever going to look the same. And it'll look a little bit different for all of us going forward. But in saying that, let's say that this season is gone. And I hate to do that, but I got to bring up LeBron James. This team, he got Anthony Davis. They were the number 1 in the West. They were playing good. You know what I'm saying? How bad would it be for LeBron at his age to not be able to finish off this season?
Yeah, it'd be bad. But here's the thing: if people have to remember, if we don't have an NBA season, that's just one small part of it. If it stretches out to the point where the NBA can't have a season, it means that's bad for everyone. That means it just lasted a lot longer than we thought it would.
You're right.
So I'm sure that's the last thing on LeBron James' mind right now. I'm sure all the players would like to get back, but I'm sure that the bigger picture is that they're trying to get just life in general back to normal. So,
man, I know
that's
for sure.
But to your question, though, to answer your question, I think that would be it'll be a major blow, because LeBron, he only has so many bullets left in the chamber. And this was shaping up to be the perfect season where a lot of teams in the West are retooling. You got the Clippers, of course, but, I still think the Lakers are the best team in the NBA in the 7-game series. But, yeah, it definitely would be a blow to him, his chances of getting as many championships as possible if they were to cancel the season.
Now, another weird thing that's come out of this is, I know you've seen that, following the worldwide suspension of basketball activities because of the coronavirus outbreak, the front office, Adam Silver, all the people basically have put out to everybody that the draft prospects, they're going to have limited contact with the NBA teams. Agents are going to have limited contact with the college, athletes. So with this, how much could this impact maybe the 2020 NBA draft? Are they going to possibly push the process back? Are they, I haven't heard a whole lot about it, except for they're basically kind of like I was talking about earlier, how Tua, because of his hip injury, and he's not able to go work out for teams, it could actually hurt him in his draft stock because they can't see how healthy he is, or if he, or maybe how injured. It might help him. Who knows? But what I'm saying is, it's kind of a fascinating, this is the first time we've ever talked about, drafts changing and because of a virus. But I'm wondering, do you think that the NBA draft, could be pushed past this summer, well past June 25th?
Well, I'm not really sure what will happen as far as that's concerned. They probably will, because if the season could possibly still be going on at that point. If they extend things out. But I'm just glad the Grizzlies are conveying this season more likely, and we won't have anything to do with this draft situation, because it's definitely going to be different. You got so many guys, even guys that are playing overseas and guys that we haven't seen, like James Wiseman. A lot of teams are really going to be, taking a blind shot into the dark as far as drafting a lot of these guys. So it's going to be a difficult process anyway. And with the whole corona situation, it doesn't make it any easier.
It's a new world that we are definitely living in. Make sure you always check out Anthony Sane in Sane Asylum. I'm just curious. You got any little tidbits? Because, you're the beat writer for the Grizzlies. We got any good word? Like, is this basically because of the season being delayed? Has this basically kind of locked in Ja for Rookie of the Year?
I don't think they'll play any more regular season games. They may do something like that just as a tune-up, maybe. But I think that Ja should be Rookie of the Year regardless. I mean, especially when if the season's over, Zion's played 20-something games, something like that. So, and I think that the fact that something else a lot of people don't talk about with Zion Williamson is the fact that yes, he's had an amazing coming out party as far as the numbers he's putting up. But something that's unfair about his situation coming in so late in the season is that he won't hit the rookie wall like Ja went through. Like he's not going through the long haul of the season.
That's a good point.
He won't have that disadvantage of playing too many games. So I think that's another unfair advantage that he has as well. But, man, everyone knows Ja's the Rookie of the Year.
Man, not bad, not bad, not bad. That's what I'm talking about. Dropping some knowledge all over your face. And that is Anthony Sane talking about basketball. And yes, Adam Silver's come out. Basically, you can say all activities are suspended. We don't know exactly what's going to happen with the 2020 draft. We don't know what's going to happen with the NBA season. Are they going to go straight to the postseason? And if they do, does that mean the Grizzlies are going to be facing the Lakers in round one?
Yeah, I was talking about this with someone else too. Like, you got Justice Winslow, who will definitely be ready to play whenever they start playing again, as well as Jaren as well. Imagine playing your first game with the Grizzlies and you're assigned to guard LeBron James. That's in game one of the playoffs. That's your first game. So that's basically what we may be looking like with Justice Winslow.
Welcome to the jungle. Man, I like it. I like it. That'll be fun. I would just love to actually see them play a little basketball. I want to see some postseason action. And I know it sounds crazy. I'm one of those guys. And now the Grizzlies, since they're like the 8th seed, I'm one of the dudes that always is annoying and says that there's just too many teams in the NBA that make the postseason. Over half the deadgum league makes the deadgum postseason. That's kind of crazy to me. But right now, I am so grateful, and with the Grizzlies sitting in that 8th spot, to watch a little extra Grizzlies basketball would be a miracle, so I'm praying that it happens. And I want to ask you, because I know you don't know, and this is just a gut feeling, if you were going to put a percentage on it, that we are going to be able to watch a playoff basketball game this year, 2020, what would you put that percentage at?
I'm going to put it at about 70%, and I think that'll grow as the days go on. I think that things will start to level out probably. I'm hoping things are going to wrap up probably in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Man, so, I hope you are 150,000% right, and I hope everybody goes out and follows at Sane Asylum, my friend Anthony Sane. Read all of his work at Sports Illustrated, listen to the podcast, and always make sure you check him out because I'm going to be bringing you on back a little bit more hopefully here in the future.
Oh, yeah, man. We got to do this.
All right, you be good out there, Sane. I'll talk to you soon. That's my friend Anthony Sane. Check him out at Sane Asylum, and also check out my very good friend. That's right, Chad Gatlin. You know him, don't you? MemphisFarmers.com. That's MemphisFarmers.com. And now, you go to MemphisFarmers.com, you're going to see this beautiful thing called Daniel Gatlin and a picture of him. Well, his name is Daniel, but his friends call him Chad. So if you go and give him a call at 901-235-1176. That's 901-235-1176. Guess what? You say, hey, what's up, Chad? He's going to know you heard it from his good buddy John on Sports 56. That'll make me happy. He'll be happy. We'll all be happy. Who knows? You'll get a great quote because I know everybody gets a great quote. But you don't have to go into the office. I wanted to make sure everybody knows because of COVID-19, his office is closed, but he is working from home, and you can reach him at 901-235-1176. And you can get a fast quote by just going to MemphisFarmers.com. Filling out the information shouldn't take you 5 minutes. Bing, bang, boom, you're done. And you can check auto, home, business, motorcycle, life, recreational, renters, umbrella. Ask him anything. He's got you covered. That's my buddy, Chad Gatlin. Now, we'll be back. You know who we coming back with? Oh, just me and my buddy Gabe Kuhn to rap about a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But don't forget, 2 o'clock, my buddy Keith Farnsworth. We're going fantasy baseball on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 FM.
Want to get your voice heard? Hit us up on the First Bank phone line or First Bank text line.
Now exclusively at the Home Depot. Give your lawn a 1-2 punch with a bag of Scott's Turf Builder Triple Action and save 50% on a bag of Scott's Turf Builder Ultra Feed. Pick up both bags. Apply Triple Action now to knock out tough weeds and Ultra Feed 8 weeks later to green and feed all season. 2 bags. 1 stronger, greener lawn. With a 1-2 punch with Scott's Turf Builder Triple Action and 50% on a bag of Scott's Turf Builder Ultra Feed. Now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. While supplies last, selection varies by store.
I'm Dr. George Flynn with Flynn Broadcasting Company. The coronavirus situation is causing a lot of cancellation of events, schools, concerts, sporting events, and all kind of social gatherings. It's called social distancing. But you do not have to be distant mentally from everyone in the community because Flynn Broadcasting is with you. We love you. We want to make sure that you are connected and protected from the coronavirus. So keep listening to this Flynn Broadcasting Station. We'll keep you informed, we'll keep you in touch, and we'll keep you connected to your friends. So as soon as this situation is over, we can go back to our normal living. I'm Dr. George Flynn with Flynn Broadcasting Company saying we love our community, we love you as individuals, and we are committed to your well-being.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Bases loaded here at the top of the ninth. And the pitch. And it's out of here!
We deliver baseball caps, mitts, and everything you need to get ready for the game. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
Hi, I'm Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. Do you have any idea why I never speak the way I am right now? It's because if you're honest, sincere, and knowledgeable, you do not need fast-talking, high-energy, gimmick-promising advertising to get a customer's attention. Speaking of that, how do you think companies can offer huge rebates and giveaways when you use their services or buy their products? By overcharging you in the first place, that's how. Five-Ash Roofing doesn't operate that way. It's misleading and dishonest. When I provide a customer with the best products and the best service possible and do it at a fair price, why would I need gimmicks to sell it? Best products, best warranties, and best service possible. That's all we offer. Well, that and financing. Five-Ash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Thick and thin, I'm your pusher man. I'm your pusher man.
Yo, 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 you know I'm your pusher man. I ain't a pusher man like the Fords got Matt Patricia. That dude's pushing all kinds of nastiness on people. But boy, Darius Slay went on national television and called him out. I don't know if I would have done that. But that was crazy. I was like, what? I know y'all, if y'all saw it, y'all spit out your coffee or whatever you were drinking. Maybe bourbon because it's a new world we're living in. Everybody's working from home. But welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour. Your good friend Johnny Radio. You know you got Gabe Kuhn at G_Kuhn71. Got to remind you, 901-406-1101. That's my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. And I will tell you right now, the way life is, a lot of people are calling 901-406-1101, and he is coming to help and save. Just call 901-406-1101. If you need to Go ahead and get ahead of the curve. Go ahead and get it. You know what's coming down the pipeline. Don't wait till the very end. Make the call, 901-406-1101. Call Bill at I Buy Houses. You're guaranteed to close in 5 days. Any house, any area, as is, as simple as that. Just make the phone call, 901-406-1101. You call my friend Bill, and I promise you, you're going to get back to feeling comfortable. You're going to feel sane. You're going to get, like some positivity going back in your life. 901-406-1101. Any house, any area, as is, as simple as that. Now, all kinds of stuff is going on. I've talked to y'all basically about what's going on in the NBA. LeBron, AD. Oh, my goodness. Who has it for the Lakers? Somebody's got it. 2 of them. 2 somebodies. Everybody's not AD, LeBron. Kind of doubt it would be.
Hey,
because LeBron's videos lately. He's been doing so much video. He was looking pretty damn healthy, except for his beard.
Hey, the way it's been lately, man, this thing's got superstar bias, clearly.
It does. It really does.
Well,
Donovan Mitchell was kind of like...
He's all-star.
All-star.
Rudy Gobert, all-star.
Rudy Gobert. Yeah, but it's also Utah.
Kevin Durant, all-star.
Yeah. Well, he's not playing, so...
Well, all-star.
Yeah, all-star. Yeah, it does. Yeah. It might... Man, wow. It is kind of fascinating. But, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's just going on, and we are living in a new world. Now, we're living in such a new world that we're talking nothing but NFL. And, yes, Tampa Bay, yeah, they got a Super Bowl with John Gruden. They got a Super Bowl with that great defense. Tony Dungy built up that team. John Gruden came in there, took them over the top, knew basically every single player that was coming from the Raiders, domination. But the Bucs haven't been to the postseason in 12 seasons. Getting back to the postseason would be awesome. Getting to a Super Bowl would be crazy. And the reason I mentioned that, who hosts the Super Bowl next year?
Tampa Bay.
That's right.
They sure do.
How many teams have ever gone to the Super Bowl when their city has hosted it?
Ooh, that's a good trivia question. You got the answer to that?
I do. It's very simple for me.
Well, let me think about this. Let me just get. It's a low number, right?
It's very low.
1.
0.
Oh, you're weak. You're weak for that
Hey, it's
one.
still a damn number, baby. But that is fascinating. Could Tom Brady, and this is another thing, another notch on his belt, the only person to lead their team to the Super Bowl the year they were hosting it. That's another thing on his belt. They got plenty of stars, and you're hearing that people are wanting to come play. I think there's all kinds of cool stuff that's going on in the National Football League, and I have to say this. I don't know how long it's been since I've actually loved all the moves. Like now they're saying Gordon is going to join the Broncos.
For substantially less money than he thought he was getting.
Correct, which is hilarious. Like, dude, look at I hate to say this. Le'Veon Bell, you got lucky. Those contracts for running backs, Zeke Elliott, you got lucky. Saquon, better get your damn money, son.
And
backs better get that sucker quickly because
I think Russell made a fantastic point earlier, and I've alluded to this: 4 to 5 year contracts for running backs, a rookie deal. That's horrible. That serves them no.
Well, that's what I was saying. What if think
doesn't
about
help
this?
them.
If Todd Gurley, if the Rams didn't open that up, and after 3 years say, "Here we go, we're going to give you big money." Think about it. He literally could have been on his 5th year of his rookie contract, and they could have just ended. They wouldn't have had to pay him any money to leave. He would have just gotten his rookie deal, and then now $5 million, I believe, is from the Rams.
And you brought up Le'Veon Bell, and you say he got lucky, but think about his surrounding cast. That team is in no way
that team stinks,
ready to
so
win,
he's not
and
lucky.
his coach is mad that they signed him for so much money.
I guess I was just talking about the fact that he's going to be
and then
rich forever.
Think about this, yeah, for sure. But Le'Veon Bell last year had a statistically incredibly down year. What happens if he has another one next year? They release him, and he signs a smaller contract. This is just the running backs. I brought it up last night on Twitter. It is, and people are talking about trading Christian McCaffrey.
Now, people are talking about trading Christian McCaffrey. Now, do you think the Tennessee Titans bleeped up by franchising Derrick Henry? Maybe not.
No,
maybe not. You go 2 years and you lead the league in rushing. After that, let me tell you a little secret. You're probably going to be worn the bleep out. it's kind of like, I hate to say this because there's not that much of a player level, but let's just use. Do you remember the brothel that was on HBO?
No.
Oh, then never mind.
No, actually, I think I know what you're talking
Mr.
about.
Hoffman
Yes.
or Hoffman.
Yeah, the guy. He got in trouble with.
I think he's dead now.
Is he the Lamar Odom guy? The guy.
Yeah, that's the Lamar Odom.
Yeah.
The place. But anyway,
But,
I think y'all can see the analogy.
But we brought that up. We brought the running back conversation up earlier in the week.
We did.
These guys. The fact that Derrick Henry, after having a league-leading year, gets the franchise tag while the quarterback gets $29 million a year for playing 11 games.
For having his good year.
It's right. I really do think it's the correct move financially, but it stinks for those running backs.
And by the way, I also do have to say, Tom Brady, talk about having a contract. Did you see his contract? You can't trade him. He's guaranteed $50 million no matter what. He's got incentives. They can't tag him. It's all these dude, that's when you are the GOAT. You control all the pieces.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And did you expect anything different?
No.
With him going to the Buccaneers?
Did
you see the comment that Robert Kraft made this morning? I believe it was on a radio show in the Boston area.
No, I did not.
What he had to say about the Tom Brady departure was, think about loving your wife, and for whatever reason, there's something, her father or her mother, that makes life impossible for you, and you have to move on, but you don't want to.
Is he talking about Bill?
I think he's talking about Bill.
I think so, too. Or he could be talking about that girl at the Love
Orchid Day Spa.
The Orchid Day Spa, who knows? But I think he's talking about Bill. I really do. But you know what? I do have to say there's one thing that we always will go back to. There's a great clip of it, too, where you see Robert Kraft saying, I just signed Drew Bledsoe to the largest contract in NFL history last year. And Bill says that a 6th round, 199th, overall pick is going to lead our franchise. He knows more about football than I do, so I'm going to just stick with what Bill says. And Tom Brady, y'all would have never had this, so I guess Kraft is just going to go stick it out with Bill as long as he can. And there's really, how could you argue with Bill Belichick? The results speak for themselves. And as anybody knows, he's the one guy who gets rid of a person before they fall off the cliff. I wonder if he got rid of Tom just before he does hit that cliff. I still think he's got a couple good years. I think Tampa's going to be Dizzope. We'll be right back, and we're going to switch up gears. I mean, we've talked NFL, we've talked NBA, but guess what? We're talking Major League Baseball. Hey, Chris Sale, Tommy John surgery, if you didn't know. Lots of things going on in baseball. But I will say one thing. Astros, they are actually lucky. Don't touch that dial. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 FM.
It's a new year and it's a new look for 117 Prime, Memphis's premier downtown dining destination. Before you even get to the entrees, you'll enjoy starters better than anywhere else in Memphis. Fresh oysters from the best raw bar downtown, with both Gulf oysters and flavorful East Coast oysters. There's also the perfect shrimp cocktail, the char grilled oysters, the Rockefeller oysters with spinach and garlic cream, or the Low Country oysters with Benton bacon and braised leeks. From the very start, 117 Prime will make your visit truly special. It's a new year. Come see the new 117 Prime.
It's not too early to start planning for spring at Family Leisure. New pools are starting at $19.99, spas starting at $21.99, and swim spas now only $99.99. 5-piece patio furniture starts at only $799. Pool chemicals, toys, accessories, and more up to 20% off. Mention this ad, you'll get free delivery and 1 month of chemicals with your spa purchase. Start your spring planning now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Hi folks, Jeff Jackson, General Manager at Sunrise Chevy with good news for car and truck buyers. With over 400 new cars and trucks in stock, ready for immediate delivery with discounts as high as $14,000. Immediate financing available with interest rates as low as 0%. A $6 million used car inventory with cars for every budget. A used car lot specializing in cars under $99.95. If you've been turned down at another dealer, see us at Sunrise. We specialize in financing, and Sunrise is the home of the guaranteed credit approval. Find new roads at the Sunrise Chevy Ranch in Collierville.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. Can anyone explain to me why anyone would care how I measure your roof? We have all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, there are aerial pictures that are taken every 4 years that can be used to measure a building, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof or even if you need one by using pictures that might be 4 years old. If you would rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, please give me a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best customer service we know how to provide. 5 Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Hi, this is Rob Brown. Join Pete Cordelli and me Saturdays 8 to 9 a.m. for Sidelines here on Sports 56 WHBQ, 87.7 FM, and 96.1. We'll cover the Memphis Tigers, the SEC, and your favorite team. Give us a call. That's Sidelines, Saturday mornings 8 to 9 a.m. Sidelines is presented by Duncan Williams Asset Management. So get up and give us a call.
Show rolls on, and
WHBQ Memphis, WIVG FM.
What a day! And Gordon just signed with the great Dan Fox.
Happy hour.
We will not be covering NCAA tournament basketball, though I will promote the fact. Another All Ball podcast. We had 2 this week. Just dropped one with my brother Greg. We talked about our own personal memories of coaching me playing in the NCAA tournament past. We'll keep pumping those suckers out, giving you something to listen to if you, like me and the rest of the world, are missing the NCAA tournament. There's a lot to get to, though. Melvin Gordon signed. There's some other signs, some other trades. The attempt at expatriates to create the Patriot Way elsewhere, and what's happened there. A lot.
Well, that was a little bit weird, but guess what? Y'all could understand the opening, couldn't you? It's Johnny Radio's Happy Hour, and guess what? It is Friday, and we're in a different world, but don't worry. We're going to talk about some stuff that's going to make you chillax and relax, and if you're a fantasy baseball fan, you are in luck, but I also want to remind you something. You might be thinking to yourself, oh no, coronavirus. The bars are all closed down and everything's stopped, but I still like to style and profile. Well, if you still like to look stylish, you don't have to go out to 5880 Goodman Road. You can just go online to frontierwesternstore.com, the largest boot showroom. They have a women's department, children's wear, everything you can think on. They got sales going on. You can shop by sale item. They have one of the best websites I've ever seen. They ship out within 24 hours. That thing is rocking and rolling, and also it's an HTTP, and there's the S. That S is for security. That means that website is secure. Don't ever put a credit card on a website that if it's just HTTP. If it doesn't have that S, that means it's not secure and they can steal your information. But FrontierWesternStore.com, they're HTTPS, they're secure, they have the easiest website to navigate, and the largest boot showroom in the history of the world. I'm telling you that is the truth. If you can't find it there, it just don't exist. Check them out, Frontier Western Store, and after COVID-19, go down to Frontier Western Store. But just kind of right now, just go to FrontierWesternStore.com. I'm telling you, it bing, bang, boom, it's awesome. Plus, what else is awesome? Baseball. And I know that spring training, the best time of the year, like Keith Farnsworth, I'm sure can tell you. What up, Keith? There's nothing like spring training, is there?
What's going on, Johnny, man? No, spring training is amazing.
If you're a fan, I've never been down there. You got the parks all around. You can go see everything. The guys are interactive. It's just a great vacation for a baseball nerd. But for baseball nerds and for fantasy people, I've been getting texts. I've been getting calls. Is the season going to happen? How's this going to work? Do we have our fantasy draft? And I'm like, yeah, a lot of people aren't sure, but I still think the boys of summer are going to give us at least an abbreviated season. How says you, Keith?
That's the hope, and I think we're going to get there. My hope is that we do have some baseball. Official season maybe starts in June or July. Maybe we even see some spring training or an abbreviated spring training a few weeks before that. But I like to hold out hope that there's going to be some sort of baseball this season because I think we could definitely use it right now.
Man, I am holding out hope. I am praying for it, and we definitely could use it because right now everybody's been talking everything NFL. But I want to talk to you about a couple things, and we will get into some fantasy discussion at 67129. If you want to talk fantasy baseball, hit me up. But I want to talk to you about some of the big moves and then some of the big surgeries. Chris Sale, Tommy John surgery. He is basically what now?
Well, he is a player that I'm probably going to stay away from. Obviously, he's going to be out for the foreseeable future. It's a good, probably 12-month shelf life at the least. So he's out this entire season.
If you have a farm system and you're allowed to put 2 players on the farm and keep for a year, is he even worth a stash?
That's tough. It depends on your league settings and what you can keep him for. Personally, I'm probably not going to hold on to him depending on who else I have because pitchers are pretty unreliable, as you can see with Sale. I mean, he was reliable for several seasons, but I don't know how he's going to come back, when he's going to come back, and what that arm's going to look like when he does.
All right, now I got to get into something that's very, very funny to me. I will always say Mike Trout is number 1. If you want to be cute, I think you go somewhere else. I don't know if you saw the sportingnews.com. I love the Sporting News. I got mad respect for all the people out there. But they have the number 1 player, and I love him, don't get me wrong. But they have the number 1 player, Ronald Acuna Jr., the number 2, Christian Yelich, and 3, Mike Trout. Do you agree with that order? Has Mike Trout somehow been passed by Yelich and Ronald Acuna?
No, I think you said it right. That's very cute. I think you could probably toss up and you could say, you know what, Ronald Acuna is going to get you more steals. Trout may have higher power numbers, but Yelich is my number 3. So let's start there. Yelich is 3. I think if I had to choose, I'm probably going to go Trout 2. And Ronald Acuna is a player that you and I have talked about for probably 3 seasons now or longer. We talked about him before he even came up into the league and how excited we were for him. So I think it's depending upon your league settings, but either Acuna or Trout at number 1 is my choice.
I dig that, and I think you're absolutely right. Now, this is kind of weird because if we talk about some positions, back in the day, catchers, we had a lot of weak hitting catchers. Now you got catchers who've got some daggum power. You know what I'm saying? So there's I feel like there's the top 5 catchers compared to like the next 30, it's unbelievable if you know what I'm saying. But then also first base used to be that position that you went to, and that's where you got your 30 to 50 home runs. There was always, from the fielders, heck, both fielders, you always had just a plethora of guys who were just flat out, I thought, the best in the business. When you look at the tiers of baseball, Cody Bellinger, I don't know if he's a first baseman or outfielder in your league, but if he's a first baseman, I got him up there. I got Freddie Freeman because the dude just strokes. A lot of people are worried about, Josh Donaldson not being down there to protect him, and he's going to get a ton of walks. I think he's going to be okay. I don't have Paul Goldschmidt up in that first tier. I'm curious, though, are you moving Pete Alonso after his rookie campaign up into that first tier? Is he with Paul Goldschmidt just underneath it?
He was so good last year.
He was. I want
to move him up, but he's not somebody who I particularly am drafting a lot or I'm leaning on. I want to see maybe a little bit more from him this year. I don't want to be the guy that takes him and finds out that this was that one rookie season and maybe this was the best season of his career. Home runs are not something that are hard to come by necessarily when you have guys like Ketel Marte that are hitting 30, 35 plus home runs from second base or from shortstop or center field multi-eligibility. So I don't think that power. I have to lean on him necessarily.
Now, I got some weird questions for you because a lot of people are going to literally, when they hear this, they're going to fall over. They're wondering about Abreu and Anthony Rizzo because the Chicago first basemen have been, two of the higher ones off the board for the last few years. But again, I kind of mentioned I got Cody Bellinger, Freddie Freeman, Pete Alonso. I got Paul Goldschmidt ahead of him. Actually, that's my order number one. I got Cody Bellinger, 2 Freddie Freeman, 3 Pete Alonso, 4 Goldschmidt for me. And then number 5, people are going to freak out when I say this. I think Josh Bell is going to come out and be a monster for the Pirates. This dude has a stroke. I think 40 home runs is if they play close to, he has it. By the way, he also hits for a high average. This is a guy who's going to hit about 280 to 90, hit you 30 to 40 home runs. I like him. And then there's Matt Olson of the A's, who I actually have in tier, with Abreu and Rizzo. What do you think about that?
No, I'm really high on Josh Bell, and I have been for years. He's always had a good profile at the plate. His vision is excellent. His on-base skills are stellar. The one thing that he has started to do the last season or season and a half is put the ball in the air more. And you've seen that translate into more power, more home runs, more production. So he's somebody who I'm definitely excited about getting around that same tier or even maybe ahead of a guy like Anthony Rizzo.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is the weird question for everybody. DJ LeMahieu, shockingly, was damn good. If he, he can play second, third for a lot of teams, but it also be able to play first because he played a lot of games at first last year. If he is eligible at all those different positions, would you move him up?
I do. In fact, he's somebody who I've targeted in leagues. He's not going to give you the monster power numbers, but again, he is just what I call a pure hitter. He's going to figure out a way to cause some damage no matter who's pitching against him. High average, a lot of runs scored, decent amount of RBIs in that lineup. So I think he is a player that I would definitely be excited about getting.
I like him a whole lot. Now, this is the one that I got to ask you, and this is going to drive you crazy. I'm going to throw out 6 guys. You tell me which one of these guys are actually worth something because they all kind of come, I think, with fear. And I'm talking about Edwin Encarnacion, Carlos Santana, Rhys Hoskins, Miguel Sano, Max Muncy, and Christian Walker. Out of those 6 dudes, who realistically do you think can go out there and have that year? You pick up one of these guys. You don't get one of the top guys that I mentioned earlier. Those are basically what you have left. Who do you still think has something in the tank, or who do you think's on the upslope?
Well, I think Rhys Hoskins could have a nice little bounce-back season. Carlos Santana is Mr. Consistent. And I don't know when, but eventually, at some point, Edwin Encarnacion is going to stop hitting a zillion home runs every single season. So it could be that year. So depending upon where he goes, he is another player who I think you could pick up, but you want to make sure that you don't wait or relax at first base because at some point there is going to be a decline, and it's not going to be a slow one, I don't think.
No, I am so with you, by the way, and that's why I brought up that position, and I know I can't talk about every single position, but that's just one of those ones that a lot of people who've been, always, picking up their first baseman late because it's so deep, this is one of those years, pay attention. Now, one of the most exciting positions has got to be third base. Nolan Arenado, Alex Bregman, Anthony Rendon, Jose Ramirez. Those are Chris Bryant. Vlad Guerrero Jr., I think, comes back and has a good year. I don't know if Manny Machado is going to be shortstop or third, if he's going to count. Then DJ LeMahieu, I've already told you he's a first, second, or third baseman. I'm just kind of curious, what do you think about this third base tier, and is this one of the deepest third base tiers you've seen in a while?
There's a lot to like about it. I mean, you didn't even mention a guy like Rafael Devers, I don't think.
No, I didn't.
I know you absolutely love Nolan Arenado. That's your guy right there. That's your guy. I don't know why people are drafting Manny Machado. I've been watching his career over the past several years. I don't believe Manny Machado is enough of a hitter to sustain the power numbers that you need to get from third base. You mentioned guys like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I don't know why he's the 10th third baseman off the board. I know he didn't have
Suarez
a fantastic year.
The Reds, that dude can stroke too.
And another pure hitter. I mean, the power numbers has really what's been crept up the past few seasons. If that continues, he's a top 10 third baseman. But I would definitely give Vlad Guerrero Jr. the benefit of the doubt. This is a very young kid with an incredible pedigree, and it wouldn't shock me if he was a top 2, 3, 4 third baseman when it's all said and done this year.
Man, I am so with you. I love talking. By the way, if y'all don't know and recognize this voice because it's been way too long, this is my good buddy Keith Farnsworth. Everybody knows if you're a fantasy baseball person, you better be following Keith. By the way, just so you know, I'll give you a little information on Keith, but I'll give it to you in just 1 second. Before I do that, I got to ask you about the outfielders. Now, everybody knows Mike Trout is the bomb diggity, right? We love Mike Trout. Love him. We've already talked about Ronald Acuna Jr., but I'm kind of curious. Who is somebody that, like Mookie Betts Jr., we love him too, of course, who is somebody that a lot of people aren't looking at that could be in a top 30 outfielder before the season's ends and nobody's talking about?
So you can look at a guy like Kyle Tucker. So Kyle Tucker right now, he's vying for an outfield position within the Houston Astros outfield. You got Josh Reddick that's right there. You talk about a pedigree hitter. Kyle Tucker can do everything from hit the long ball, hit for average, and steal a ton of bases. So he's somebody who, given the playing time, could shoot up those production numbers for you and definitely help win your league. If you want to go really, really deep, I like looking at a guy like Jesse Winker. Winker's got a lot of those hitting skills. You can find him at the end of your draft. But he's somebody who hit for power last year, but kind of forgot how to hit for average and forgot some of his vision. I expect him to regain that vision at the plate this year and hopefully continue to hit for power, which would make him a much more complete hitter.
All right. Now, again, like I said, Ronald Acuna, Christian Yelich, Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, they are all at the tippity top. I want to, and this is where I want to ask you, because this is where I have them tier 1. Tier 2. What do you think about Juan Soto, J.D. Martinez?
So there is those 3 at the top, or those 4 if you include Bellinger, and then there is a massive gap in between the next several guys. I mean, I can't overstate how large that gap is. Bryce Harper, Juan Soto. Juan Soto's a one-year guy. J.D. Martinez worries me a little bit as far as just can he continue to be that consistent with as much as going on with him? And Mookie Betts, I don't know why he's so far down. Give Mookie the benefit of the doubt. He's been the best fantasy player 2 of the last 4 seasons overall. So why he's faded down so far down those draft boards is somewhat of a shock to me.
What do you think? Can Charlie Blackmon continue? I mean, he's getting older. But he's hits above 300, strokes up, plays in Coors Field with the Rockies. I hope they keep Nolan Arenado if you have a Charlie Blackmon because you want him in that lineup. But what do you think about Charlie Blackmon?
I like Blackmon, but if he's going in the same range as Mookie Betts, it's not even a conversation for me.
I agree with you.
I'm taking Mookie Betts, every single time. And there's other guys that you can steal down the road too. I expect big things from Starling Marte this year. He'll be leading off for the Diamondbacks. And I kind of like that offense has made some improvements this year. So I think he could score a lot of runs. He's going to steal a lot of bases. So that's a player that I'm excited about.
Now, everybody knows about the stuff that's going on with Houston. Those guys, everybody likes the little man, but is Altuve going to be, are his numbers going to go down if they're not cheating? Yordan Alvarez, the rookie of the year, the guy that I was in love with, this dude's just got manpower. Is he going to be, they have him going right behind Aaron Judge in some drafts. What is he going to be? I'm just kind of wondering when you look at this Alex Bregman at third base, George Springer in the outfield. When you look at the Astros, are you worried about any player in particular, or are you just like chillax and just draft as you would normally draft them?
I'm actually going to fade a lot of the offense on that team. I'm going to fade a lot of the offense on that team. I think that this is going to wear on them day in and day out. Hitting in particular is such a confidence thing. And these guys, every single time they step the dish, are going to get booed. They're going to get fans yelling things at them. They're going to be constantly reminded about their worst day. So think about you. Every time you come on radio or every time you do something, somebody's always reminding you about your one worst day. I think that's going to wear on them emotionally. I think it's going to be very difficult for them to put up the numbers Also, I also believe that Houston's not the only team that was taking advantage of technology to boost their numbers or to gain a competitive advantage. But what I do know is they're going to be meticulously monitored by MLB and by even fans. I mean, if you think about some of the fan observations like John Boy and some of the Twitter people that found different things out about what that controversy was, they're going to be monitored. So them in particular will not be able to take any of those advantages and cheat in any way because they're going to be monitored. So I think that's one other way that they could actually see a dip in production.
Ooh, now I saved the toughest question for last for my good friend, Mr. Keith Farnsworth. And by the way, if you don't know Keith, it's at Fantasy _ just like me, Keith. That's at Fantasy _ Keith. He writes for everybody and their grandmother, one of my favorite baseball prospectus. Check them out. It's at Baseball Pro. Don't forget Fantrax. He's everywhere. If it's about baseball, Fangraphs as well, he's all over it. But the toughest position, in my personal opinion, this year is the closers. Like, you realistically, I mean, Aroldis Chapman, Josh Hader with the Brewers, maybe Brad Hand with the Indians. But outside that, they got Kirby Yates with the Padres going real high, Roberto Ozuna, Liam Hendricks with the A's. I'm looking at a couple other names like Taylor Rogers with the Twins, or Ken Giles, Kenley Jansen out with the Dodgers, Craig Kimbrell now with the Cubs, and that didn't go so good. So basically what I'm saying is, damn, have you ever seen a weaker, like, to go out there and get saves? Have you ever seen a year where it's more difficult to figure out actually who the heck is closing for every team, and also who's going to keep their job and who's good?
No, you're 100% right. I'm a huge Archie Bradley fan, being a native here in Arizona. Personally, I really like Archie Bradley, but if he is that second tier of closer,
wow,
we're in tough shape.
And
so
we've been waiting for Archie,
5,
by the way, to be a closer for like 3 years. You know, I feel like he's been a great setup, man.
He has, and again, he's awesome. But if he's that second tier of closer, I'm scared to death of that second tier. So those top 5 guys you mentioned, maybe a little bit deeper into that, maybe Brad Hand. I like those. Maybe even Raisel Iglesias or Ken Giles. But there is another significant drop.
Atlanta. What do you think about that? I get asked a lot of questions about Mark.
Scared
I don't
to
death like me?
Yeah, he's the guy I have to see it. I want to see it before I'm going to invest.
I honestly, I told them I think I would take I'd take Alex with the White Sox, call me Sean Doolittle, probably Ian Kennedy, again, Archie Bradley, Jose Leclerc. I take so many people before I would take him, so he's at least way down. Iglesias for the Reds. I know they're not going to get a lot of wins, but heck, at least you know he's actually going to close for them. So there's just a lot. What about Brandon Workman? I get asked about him too with the Red Sox.
Yeah, he's not somebody who I'm too excited about, and I don't know too much about Brandon Workman in particular. But in a day where there are players coming up in these organizations that literally wake up in the morning and throw 102. I mean, if you look back 15 years ago or 5 years ago even, most minor leaguers are not touching 99, touching 100 miles an hour, but these guys are waking up and throwing 100 miles an hour. So you see guys pop up every single season almost out of nowhere, which makes stability at these positions very difficult. So unless you're somebody who has a track record like Kenley Jansen or just unreal numbers like Josh Hader, then it's tough to keep that position if you have a few shaky weeks.
Man, I'm telling you, Keith, I could do this all day long, all day strong. I know you got to get back to it. I appreciate you joining me. It's been way too long. We'll do it again soon. It's at Fantasy _ Keith on Twitter. Check out at Baseball Pro, at Fantrax, at Fangraphs. Read all of his good work. And Keith, man, let's not make it like 6 months before we hook back up again. All right.
Thanks, Johnny.
Hey, thank you, Keith. That's my fantasy baseball guru. He can be yours, too. Just check him out. And plus, I'm going to be dead serious. Out of all the websites he writes for, I am a big time. Like, I love at Baseball Pro. That's Baseball Prospectus. I think they are probably one of the best websites out there for baseball nerds like me, to be honest with you. If you're a baseball junkie, that's the best one. But I got to tell you also, we're coming back with my favorite segment other than just talking and rapping with Russell Copeland and my good friend, Mr. Farnsworth. Heck, I talked with Isaac yesterday after good month hiatus. Love rapping with all my people, but I love giving you your favorite, and that is Hardwood. But before we go, I got to say again, thank you. 901-406-1101. You call him. You say, what's up, Bill? I gots to move, or I can't stand my brother, or I can't stand renting out all these houses to these people who kept messing up my houses. I'm ready to sell. Whatever in the world you got to get out of your house or you got to sell it for, if you need cash in a flash, it's very simple. You call I Buy Houses. That's 901-406-1101. Call Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. Say it with me, 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. We have talked about baseball, basketball, and football. Now we talk about the funny side of sports. Coming up next, Hardwood on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hertz. Weekdays from 7 to 10. Only on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Hi, it's Flo. And you know what word I don't get? Shampoo. The first half of the word is sham, and the second part you definitely don't want to see in the shower. That's why I made up a neat word. Flotection. The feeling of security you get when your new house is protected by home insurance through me and Progressive. I mean, seriously, shampoo? What part of that makes you want to rub it all over your hair?
Save an average of 17% on car insurance when you bundle home and auto through Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Frontier Western Store is proud to announce their T-shirt sale is back. All regularly priced novelty T-shirts are buy one, get a second half price. Tons of new prints by Simply Southern, Girly Girl, and Puppy Love, as well as men's tees by Live Oak and Haybo are included. Frontier's women's boutique is loaded with new styles and colors in current trends of tops, tunics, and dresses. And most are just $14.99, available small to 3X. While you're there, be sure to check out Frontier's world-famous boot showroom. Shop thousands of boots year-round that are in stock, ready to try on and take home. Shop at a local store with excellent service. With their extensive selection of dress and work boots, you are certain to find your next favorite pair. Frontier receives new styles and restocks daily from all the largest boot makers: Dan Post, Durango, Rocky, Ariat, and more. Available in men's, women's, or children's. Outfit the entire family. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by your CBD store, your one-stop for all your natural, organic, and non-GMO CBD products, where good health hits home. Here's Johnny Radio himself, John Harden.
Shackles, ball and chain. Listen to the whistle of the evening train. You know you about to wind up dead. You don't head back to Tennessee.
Welcome back to a little bit of Sports 56 Happy Hour. You know who I am, Johnny Radio. John Harden is my name. You can follow me on Twitter at Johnny_radio. You can follow Gabe. He's with me at G_Coon71. And we're about to go and talk a little bit of Hardwood. But before I get into Hardwood, because this isn't necessarily, I think, a Hardwood type story. This is just more about like what we're going through in the world. And I'm just kind of curious if this is something that like a judge is going to like actually push to the front. Because I do have noticed how, hate to say it, the coronavirus has kind of pointed out a little bit of class warfare about how people can't get tested versus people who can. It's been kind of coming out. But then, of course, Vanessa Bryant files this in her probate action. She said that she is trying to get her affairs in order for her and her kids following the death of her husband. And the coronavirus is making it difficult. So she's asking the court for some help. She wants this done ASAP. Blah, blah, like, not trying to be a jerk. I understand she's suing a whole bunch of people and stuff. But again, like, we're talking about the country is in an economic crisis. Like, they had to stop trading because of the now safety thing. So we didn't have another Black Tuesday from back in the day because it was sell. Everybody and their grandmother was on a sell. So I'm just kind of curious. I understand it's wreaking havoc. And I guess you can't get through your suit, and maybe it is a little bit painful, but it ain't like she's right now scraping by on changing her couch. You know what I'm saying? So do you expect this to a judge actually to tell them to put this on the fast track, or do you expect to hear her to send back to her chill the bleep out?
I don't know, man. We're just in unprecedented times, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going to happen. What do you think?
All I know is backed up is, again, we haven't even talked about the court system because we basically talked about the healthcare system, the financial systems, et cetera, that are showing all the cracks. But yeah, the court systems, they're showing cracks. I don't know if you know this because you probably don't know a lot about Iran, like I would. They released 85,000 prisoners in Iran to combat the coronavirus because they didn't want to spread within the prisons.
And that was definitely a thought of mine, is what if this does get into the prisons and infiltrate?
Ooh, and it just starts going, oh, it'd be a nightmare. But
it already is.
It is already a nightmare. You are dead gum right about that, but I'm tired of talking about this dead gum nightmare. You ready to have some fun? Let's go to Hardwood.
This is Access Hardwood.
Oh, this is Access Hardwood, and I like to have some fun when I do a little Access Hardwood. I like to talk about, basically the funnier part of life. And I will say this: I mentioned Vanessa Bryant for a reason. One, there was a interesting about her trying to get this case pushed forward because, like, the way she says it is like she needs the money. Like, that's why I guess I'm like, nah. I mean, I'm sure you would like another couple million here, 50 million, whatever.
In a time where everything's on hold. So yeah, I can't imagine this would be any different. But at the same time, with the what it is about, this case, I think it's sort of a sore subject. It's kind of hard to talk about.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but there's a dude named Steve Butcher. He's a very, very famous in the tattoo world. I don't know a whole lot about the tattoo world. I know my buddy Richie at Trilogy. I will say one thing. He says you can't get tattoos and piercings.
Do you have a tat?
No tattoos. Have a piercing, though. No, you will never see.
All right. Continue.
But Steve, he did Matt Barnes, Lonzo Ball, all kinds of stuff. But did you see the work that he's done lately for basically, he's been doing Mamba tattoos. And he did the Mamba for Life tattoo. He did the one that shows Kobe Bryant and Gia.
Impressive art.
This dude, if he can do this on a person's, flesh, what the hell could he do on a canvas? This guy's got mad skills. I was looking at this. I didn't even know they could make, I didn't know they could do that much color. That looks like a picture on a person's
And aren't we
leg.
to a point where all of I got to imagine tattoo and piercing shops are closed.
Yes, that's what I was mentioning.
They are
I'm dead
done.
serious. Richie, and I'm not joking when I said this, my friend Richie did tweet out to me, and he asked me to mention this on the show, so I'm going to mention it to my friend Richie. He said, and make sure I grab his tweet so I got everything right. He said, please send a shout out to the tattoo and piercing industry. No takeout tattoos or piercing. Please send prayers and good thoughts for my staff and all of the other studios around the city, state, and the country. So Richie over at Trilogy, we're sending prayers and good thoughts. And I told you I'd read that bad boy, but I do have to say, something that's been funny, and I don't know why I'm finding so much fun, but maybe toilet paper humor is hilarious to me. But have you seen the one with toilet troubles that's going around that says, if you're reading this, it's too late?
And it's the roll. There's no actual toilet paper.
It's just the roll. That I don't know why. Like all these stupid things are hilarious. Did you see?
Have you been able to get some toilet paper at the store lately?
Oh, dude.
Or are you stocked up? Are you good?
I'm stocked. I'm good. I went to the dollar store. For some reason, the dollar store's always got the toilet paper, bro. It's like you can always get toilet paper at Fruity Pebbles.
But it's the I'm not gonna say the bad.
It isn't
toilet
the best,
paper, but it's the rough stuff.
Hey,
it's the rough stuff.
Sometimes we got to do what we got to do. Speaking of got to do what we got to do to have some fun, do me a favor, go watch Frank Caliendo talk with a guy named Joey Molinaro. He's not as well known, but he's pretty funny. He's a writer. He does impressions, jokes, works at Barstool Sports.
Just got hired on the Barstool.
Yeah, just got hired on the Barstools. They did a Andrew Luck, Bill Belichick, like during the coronavirus, like him calling to get Andrew Luck to come out of retirement to come to, the Patriots. It is one of the funniest deadgum things. I don't know why I find it so funny. Check it out. Watch it. Maybe you can tell me why. But it's just when the dude plays Andrew Luck and how dumb and goofy he is. That's exactly how I feel Andrew Luck. And then I do feel like Bill Belichick's exactly how Caliendo does.
No, but real talk, like, who is going to play quarterback for the Patriots?
I'm telling you, I think that they're going to I think Jordan Love is going to get drafted in the first round by the New England Patriots and going to be their future. They're going to start the season with Jarrett Stidham, and then after a few games, they're going to try and insert Jordan Love. But again, that is just right now my best guess.
That's an interesting guess.
I mean,
I don't know if it'll come true.
I don't either. I just don't see him going out
there. They
got
to pick in the 20s again, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, they're at the very end. Yeah, that's why I'm saying I think they can get Jordan Love. Like, I mean, they made the postseason. Yeah,
you heard of Cameo?
Do I what?
If you heard of Cameo, it's an app on your phone.
No, I have not.
So
there's a Cameo commercial. Like, is that where you get like pictures?
It's where so Cameo is a platform that connects outdated, sort of what a lot of people term as C-list celebrities, from music, sports, films, with their fans, and these fans buy personalized messages through video. And Mike Tyson, get this, in 6 hours on Cameo, which he signed with them, and I think you get $300 to $500 a pop per personalized message. In 6 hours, made $20,000 on Cameo. And obviously this has been done. Dwight Howard's been on there, Brett Favre, Mark McGrath. And it turns out
he donated $20K on Cameo?
No, it's not donating.
Oh,
it's how he makes money. It's $300 Okay, so if you want a birthday message from Mike Tyson, you can go on to Cameo, pay him $300 to say, "Happy birthday, John." I mean, you would want him. You would want him to say something with a lisp in it, though. You'd have to put like
"Happy birthday, Gabe."
Yeah, or like if somebody was having like a bar mitzvah, congrats on your bar mitzvah. Dude. So you pay $300 for these personal messages. He got so many bookings within 6 hours. He made $20,000.
Whoa! You want to hear something weird? You brought up Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah.
I googled him. What do you think the first thing that popped up?
Yeah, there's a number of things. Is it the Cameo thing? No.
Second thing that popped up is the Cameo thing.
Okay, what's the first
thing? First, boxing legend Mike Tyson explains why he's looking forward to death. He says living is much more complicated than dying, I think. Well, hell yeah, it is. You just die.
I feel like Mike Tyson's the type of dude that has had comments on that before. I'm sure this is not the first time he said that. It's a heavy thought.
It's kind of a heavy thought. Like, I never thought that would come out of Mike Tyson. He's like, you know what, man? Living's been kind of I blew through $200 million, went to jail. I'm Mike, and I just think living is a lot more complicated. Can't wait to death. I just don't hear that every day, so I'm kind of shocked.
Okay, who did he say that to, man?
He said this today to Mike Tyson reveals this. Who's Talk Sport?
Talk Sport?
He told the Talk Sport man, I knew there was a possibility that I could die during training, during a fight. I knew that, but I was never scared. I've always thought if anybody was going to die, I would be down. And plus, I don't mind if I do the killing. The self-confidence was a survival mechanism for me. So, no, I'm not scared of death. I'm actually looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot easier than living. The more willing I am to die, the better I was. That's kind of pretty, like... Plus, think about Mike Tyson
heavy.
saying this. That's very heavy for Mike Tyson.
But, no, that's not heavy for Mike. I've heard worse from Mike Tyson.
Do you think he got stupid high before he went on air or whatever and did this interview?
No idea.
Do you think he gets stupid
earthly
high?
idea.
I think he needs to get high.
It seemed like it. That's a weird. That's a thought that I don't know.
Wowzers. Well, I just want you to know I don't want to die, folks. By the way, I do have to say thank you to the person listening in Arizona. They said there's no spring training out here. It's so weird. He misses the Cactus League, but he says, keep cranking the panic. Got you, brother.
Anyway, we haven't even mentioned, and I know this is semi-old news. It came down after we got off the air yesterday, but Sean Payton.
Coronavirus.
For the corona.
Yep. So did Kevin Durant.
Apparently he's in good health, though, so he's all good.
Yeah, he's only 57, right?
Yeah. So he was saying he was asymptomatic for a little bit, and then I think he's at day 8 of quarantine. So he told us after the fact that he knew for a few days before he actually announced it to ESPN.
I have a very serious question about you. This. How in the heck did The Simpsons seriously predict this, 10 years ago?
Look, people talk about conspiracy theories. That ain't no conspiracy. They got a time machine. They are controlling our government and our globe and our world or something, because they should not know all these things.
No, they shouldn't. It's kind of freaking me out.
No, it's ridiculous.
But I do have to tell you, there is a routine that says if you want to make sure you stay healthy and you don't get COVID-19, follow this routine. So I wanted to give it out to my listeners. This person says they are a life coach.
Wait, where is this? Where's this from?
It's on Twitter.
Where did The Simpsons come? Is this?
Oh no, I just was mentioning
that was a hardcore.
Oh.
That was.
I just was mentioning how did
not a very smooth transition, but continue.
But no,
continue.
I
want to know this.
You know why it popped up to me? Because right underneath it there is a quote answer from somebody who has a picture of the little Simpson girl. Which one was Bart's sister?
Lisa.
Lisa.
Yeah.
There's a picture of Lisa. That's why I thought of The Simpsons. I'm like, dude, they projected
And Maggie's
this.
the little baby.
Yeah, she's the baby. But they projected it, remember, a decade ago. But anyway, and they actually put it on an episode. But anyway, I wanted to mention this. So the guy says, here's my quarantine routine and the one that will keep everybody safe. 7 a.m. wake up, cup of coffee. Dig that. 8 a.m. shot. 9 a.m. full on drank. 10 to 11, shot off of somebody. Body shots. He said 11 to 12, full drank. 12 to 1, sit down on the edge of the bed with hopefully a lady. And then let's see where things go. Nap till 3, get back up. 4, drank. 5, pass out again. 6, drank. 7, wake up. 8, drank. 9, drank. 10, faded. And then it says 11, yayo! I think everybody's having a little bit of fun. I will tell you, I don't think that's going to help you as a quarantine routine or keep you alive for very long. So good luck out there. A lot of people are putting their quarantine routines out there. Have you noticed that? Like this one lady put out, she's like, I wallow in self-pity. Then I do jazzercise. Who does jazzercise still in 2020? Have we not switched to yoga?
You struck me as a jazzercise guy.
What?
Yeah, you did.
I struck you as a jazzer.
Yeah,
Can you see me with some big old fluffy
100%. Yes.
Oh, thanks, Jane
100%.
Fonda. Like Jane Fonda days.
110%.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate that, Gabe. Thanks, buddy.
I just retweeted this on the Sports 56 Twitter. Obviously, with COVID-19 and the quarantine sort of situation, you want to stay away from your old people and your family, your grandparents. You want to make sure.
I was going to say,
you have to make sure.
Just stay away from old people, yo.
Well, truthfully, that's what we're talking about. So I just retweeted this. A family was celebrating their grandma's 95th birthday in New York,
Oh no, they killed
her. They was good Lord. It was a feel good story, buddy. I'm not going for that.
Dude, I was about to say, dude. Sorry.
No, but they actually sang to her from the street, "Happy Birthday." And got her presents delivered to her door and made sure that they practiced social distancing and stayed away from her.
Well, you know what? I saw somebody do something sweet, too. Oh, I thought you were going to tell me they killed her.
I was, good God.
Sorry.
I would not be telling this story in Hardwood if she died, bro.
Okay, sorry, my bad. Well, I do have to tell y'all 2 good feels-good stories. One, I will let y'all know that the shelters are closed to the public due to COVID-19. But adoptions are still available. You email the shelter. They're going to set up meet and greets by appointment only. And you can adopt, and if you can foster or whatever, send in the email. Tell them what dog or cat you want. Blah, blah, blah. Again, that's adoption at 2hmail.org. So check that out. I retweeted it. But you can still do adoptions even though COVID-19 is rolling on. But I do have to say, did you see that old man who's like the old folks home, and like you can't go in the old folks home, okay? Because of you just said basically old people.
Stay away from old people, yes.
But this girl came over and they just got engaged. So like the little girl went out there and she showed her the ring and everything and like proposed in front of like the window of the old folks home. So it was actually like a really nice thing. Like they got engaged, but they shared the moment with the old folks home. And you should see all the old people in there crying. It was really nice. So I got to say, whoever those 2 people were that I saw on whatever TV show, whatever news I was watching, 2020, who knows what I was watching. Congrats. Y'all were pretty dope. Or maybe it was with Gail on CBS. Who knows?
I can't believe the freezing cold guess, though, that you just tried to make on that earlier story.
Which one?
Well, you just tried to say that this old woman... You thought I was going to tell a story about an old woman dying, man.
I literally...
No.
You were like, hold on.
Who wants to tell that story?
You do have to understand, not to be like... I guess from my vantage point, you were setting up about how dangerous COVID-19 is. You're like, don't go around old people. And then you're like... And there's this 91-year-old woman.
95.
95. And here I go. I'm like, oh, yeah, they 95. Killed her. They killed her. That's all I was thinking. I was like, dadgummit. This is going to end bad.
Dark. In a dark spot.
Amen. By the way, speaking of amen, Chargers, they don't have Gordon, but guess what? The Broncos do. We got more moves all over the place. Hardwood was a little bit crazy and funny. By the way, I just want to know this. Did you know Kim Kardashian is taking up another person that's like in jail? Have you seen this?
I have not. What did this person do or not do?
Murder. Like a whole family. A family of 3. She says that he's innocent. I don't know. I'm just wondering. Kim, she's really gotten into this, hasn't she?
This is not the time for pardons either. I think we should sort of worry about
other things. Yeah,
the things on our plate right now. But hey, look, if she thinks the person's innocent and they actually are, do what you believe.
Do what you got to do, girl. But anyway, it just made me think about it because the other day I was Googling the Kardashians because we were doing the ratings, you know.
This is also the 3rd day in a row we've brought up the Kardashians.
I got to bring them up because brackets. I'm just doing Kardashian and Jenner brackets right now. It's fascinating.
Have you filled yours out yet?
It's not completely filled out. I still got a couple questions. I got to talk to a couple neighbors. But whatever y'all do, don't you dare touch that dial. And if you want to fill out a bracket, send me your Kardashian Jenner bracket. It's really funny. This is Sports 56, 96.1, and of course, 87.7 FM.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Upon official review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
We deliver jerseys, funny foam fingers, and everything you need to get ready for the game. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
Yeah, so Aiden's coffee spot is really undope. They asked what they can get me, and I'm like, the code to the bathroom. Stop trying to sell me something.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
Also, the Wi-Fi password was too hard to spell, and I can, totally spell stuff.
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial, auto, and business insurance.
They didn't have any cups out for the free cream, so I just drank it out of the pitcher.
Get a quote online today at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
Hey, sports fans, you already know about the great steaks at the Butcher Shop Steakhouse, a Memphis tradition since 1981. They specialize in hand-cut aged beef right over that hickory charcoal. But did you know the Butcher Shop also has great seafood items, from fresh Atlantic salmon with dill sauce, pan-seared red snapper with sautéed shrimp and Cajun cream sauce, Canadian cold water lobster tails, crab stuffed shrimp, homemade lump crab cakes, and a whole lot more. Oh, and don't forget the Fresh Burger Fridays for only $8.95. Come in, enjoy a fantastic dinner at the Butcher Shop. You call the Butcher Shop at 901-757-4244, or you can visit the website at butchershop.com.
From now until March 29th, the Butcher Shop is offering curbside to-go orders and giving 10% off for all guests who use this service. The Butcher Shop, 107 South Germantown Parkway in Cordova, 901-757-4244.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles, when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Limb Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC-accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Limb Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselimbbrace.com.
To yours, Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
Pull up a seat and grab a drink. It's Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Let's go! This hour is brought to you by your CBD store, your one-stop for all your natural, organic, and non-GMO CBD products, where good health hits home. Here's Johnny Radio himself, John Harden.
Many a hand has scaled the grand old face of the plateau. Some belong to strangers and some to folks you know. Holy ghosts and talk show hosts are planted in the sand to beautify the foothills, shake the many hands. There's nothing on the top but a bucket and a mop and an illustrated book about birds. You see a lot up there, but don't be scared. Who needs Jackson when you got words?
Welcome back into a little bit of Johnny Radio Sports 56 Happy Hour, man. Last segment of the day. It's a Friday. Don't worry, Wolo and Stats are coming up next with a little sports time. But before I get out of here, got to tell you a couple things that are going down. One, I've been telling y'all what's going on in the world, and this is not a joke. Somebody text me, you're full of it. Google it. Boxing legend Mike Tyson explains, not just says, but explains why he's looking forward to death and why he thinks living is much more complicated than dying. And it is kind of deep for Mike Tyson. And again, I think he ate like 4 gummies, took a bong rip, and then just went out there and started doing this like interview, because it just doesn't sound very Mike Tyson-esque. Well, at least from what I'm used to, because usually he's like, I'm going to whip off your face and eat your children or something crazy, you know? Hey, I'm Mike. Biting Evander Holyfield's teeth and stuff. Well, I mean, ear and... Oh, man. Anyway, got to also say, though, Mike is a wild man, but he's ready for it. I'm not ready for it. So if he's going out to get corona, stay away from me. Now, Baltimore Ravens and the Steelers, they don't like each other. They don't ever usually do a trade. But did you see this one that's kind of got me confused? My man, Mr. Wormley. That's right. Chris Wormley. And a 2021 7th-round pick was sent to the Pittsburgh Steelers in exchange for a 21 5th-round pick. Interesting. Since Wormley did start 7 games in 2019, and the Steelers were the number 4 defense. He was a 3rd-round pick in 2017. He ranked 11th last season with 33 tackles, and he recorded 1.5 sacks. So just basically, I guess what I'm saying is they're saying they created much needed cap space. And I went to look it up to see how much cap they could actually make, and it's $2.133 million. What? Go look up when you say stupid stuff like they created much needed cap space, the Ravens, with this trade, buddy. Go look it up. And no, I don't understand what this is about. And if the $2 million does help them, maybe I'll find out why and they sign somebody better. But this one's just kind of perplexing to me. And by the way, you got to remember, Ozzie Newsome has been replaced by DaCosta, and I trust Mr. Newsome. So maybe it's just the fact that whenever I see a move that's coming out of Baltimore and I know Ozzie's not up there running things, maybe I look at it a little bit cross. And this is one that kind of I look at a little bit cross and kind of wonder. So we'll see. I think it helps the team Pittsburgh in their own division more than it helps. I don't know. It helps. Who knows what's going on? But anyway, I think it's just all crazy. Now, speaking of crazy, I talked with Keith Farnsworth. We talked about how in the world you have like Chris Sale. He's going in for Tommy John surgery. This is a guy, even if you have a farm system and you're allowed to put a couple players down on the farm for next season, I don't know if Chris Sale's ever going to be that Chris Sale that he was. We kind of saw him almost teetering and going downwards before he hit Tommy John surgery. Maybe he'll come back, but I don't think it's going to be the guy that we are used to. Relief pitching. It's almost impossible. It is awful. So make sure you get your relievers early and get the right ones and get lucky, and hopefully lately you'll just find the guy who's actually closing for a team later on in the year. Don't forget, running back. He is a former Charger. He is now joining the Bucs. See ya, Mr. Melvin Gordon, and he didn't get near the money he expected. What's going to happen with Jadeveon Clowney? Who knows? We're going to have to see, but I bet you'll find out some stuff on Wolo and Stats. Don't you dare touch that dial, and get out there. Make this world a better place. From Gabe, for John, we'll see you on the flip side. Peace!